Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fabi, and welcome to Arrows DIY. On my channel, I like to do Dollar Tree DIYs, high-end dupes, thrift flips, and the occasional trash to treasure. Today I have for you a decor piece which is perfect for Valentine's Day home decor. I made it in the neutral color palette, so it's perfect for rustic home decor. If you like unique home decor on a budget, you might want to consider subscribing. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, because it really helps my channel. Now, a whole group of my friends and I got together. We're Plaid ambassadors, and Indiana Jones is the host today. I'll leave her link in the description box below. Be sure to check out Annie. She's a blast. Now, we are offering you a plaid giveaway. So all you have to do is watch and like all the videos on the playlist and write our secret word in the comment box below. So listen for my secret word, because I will say it somewhere in this video and I will only say it once. Good luck. At the Dollar Tree, I got this sign, and I took off the tag as well as all the embellishments, and you're going to need 4 of them. I'm going to use them to build a structure in just a bit. So now I'm going to make the bow for this piece, and I wanted a very big, shabby bow. I love bows, so if you love making bows, I'm your girl. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this burlap and I'm going to rip off this lace detail, and I just do that as though it was a band-aid. Now you could totally use a scissor and be more delicate, but this worked for me. I just had to take off any of those cotton strips that were there. So I cut 6 pieces out about a foot long, and now I'm going to attach them together to build a bigger bow. A bigger ribbon. So I'm just teaching you here how to make a more expensive looking piece of ribbon from inexpensive Dollar Tree supplies. Most of my supplies today are from the Dollar Tree. So all I did was I attached these 3 burlap ribbon pieces together using a line of hot glue, and I just put that line of hot glue right on that wired edge, and I hot glued them together, just overlapping just a little tiny bit. And as you can see, I left 1 piece of lace in that center portion there. I do like the lace, I just didn't want that placement of the lace, so I do end up using the lace. Never fear, I will not waste anything beautiful. So we'll use it in just a bit. Once we have these 3 pieces attached, we're going to go ahead and add a trim. So this is this new ribbon I found for Valentine's Day at Dollar Tree, and I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the detail, the scalloped edge as well. So I'm going to use this as a trim for our new big and thicker ribbon, and we're just going to hot glue it like so. I use Gorilla Hot Glue, and I think it's really durable, and I love it, but you can use any hot glue should do. So once I have the trim on there, we're going to go ahead and fold this in half. And I'm going to attach it with hot glue right in the center there. So we're going to start by adding a bead of hot glue right in the center there to attach this in half. We're going to fold it in half. Now we're going to add a bead of hot glue to the left edge, right where that middle lace part is. And then we're going to hot glue the trim, the corner of that ribbon with the trim on it. We're going to bring it in to that center portion, and this is just going to create the perfect cinch, and we do this for both halves. And I did it this way because I didn't want the middle of the bow to be too bulky, because we are going to add the raffia in a bit. So these are the lace that I took off earlier, and I'm just going to make it look as tails for now. It just helps give that light, airy, romantic feel to this piece. So you could totally use raffia from the Dollar Tree. I usually use a hula skirt, but I ran out after the fall. So I'm gonna have to grab some more this summer. I recommend you always grab some hula skirts when you see them, because they're perfect for year-round DIYing. So I just had this raffia in my stash. I go ahead and I just tie a whole bunch of it together with some twine, and I secure it with hot glue, triple knotting. So now the raffia wasn't laying right, so I had to make it a little bit more wild. I just opened it up a bit, and it was giving me that vibe like I was trying to make this bow inspired by a bird's nest, which is why I decided to add the raglan raffia, and it looks a lot better once I fluff up the bow. I also added a little bit of lace there in the middle, and now I'm gonna hot glue this bow right in the center. So you want to add a lot of hot glue in that center portion there, and I'm just crisscrossing the lace at different spots of the bow just to add some visual interest. So now I'm gonna add the same burlap ribbon in the center there, and I'm gonna secure it really well while holding tightly. And this is what I'm gonna use to finish off the bow. Now I love the fact that it's chunky because it makes it feel like a substantial bow. And I really love a strong bow, if you know what I mean. It's just, I just think it's very important for the center of the bow to be very strong. So anyways, we are gonna hot glue that, pulling it very tightly so it looks neat. And now we're gonna take the last bit of that burlap ribbon. It's about a foot left. So, sorry, it had about 2 feet left. So I cut 2 more strips, 1 foot in length, and then I just hot glue them slightly to the side for the tails of the bow. It's just as simple as that. Now I dovetail the ends, of course, and I like a nice sharp dovetail. So my dovetail is about 1.5 inches in length, and I love that. I love a crisp dovetail. Let me know in the comments below if you love big bows. Now I love the fact that it was wired as well, because it helped, you know, give the ribbon some shape. Now it is cheap ribbon, but as long as you have a good pair of scissors, you shouldn't be able to tell at the end of your DIY. So I recommend picking up some. I can recommend these. They were about $4 on Amazon, and I'll leave the link in the description box below. Now I took the heart and I gave it a nice coat in this folk art color called wicker white, and I went ahead and I just gave this only 1 heart a full coat of this folk art paint color. Now I'm going to use some twine, and I'm just going to string the 4 signs together, and this is just going to help me when I stack them in a second. It's going to help me keep them in the right position. So when I'm hot gluing them together, this string will help me put them in position, because we know hot glue dries really fast. So it's really helpful to use this little trick here. So now I'm going to use some popsicle sticks as well as some E6000 and some hot glue in different spots. Now I wanted to elevate these pieces, and I just wanted to create a detail. So I take some hot glue and some popsicle sticks, and I just attach them right there at that tip, the bottom tip of that heart. And then I also take some more popsicle sticks and I just glue them on like so. Now I also use E6000, but I make sure not to put the E6000 in the same spots as the hot glue, because it interferes with the adhesion strength. So just be sure to keep them in different spots and everything should be fine. So I wanted to create a detail on the side with little gaps in between each of these, and I kind of wanted to make this piece look like a locket. So what I did was I just added those popsicle sticks to give just the right amount of spacing between each of the frames. And now I just continue doing the same thing. So I just add some popsicle sticks with some hot glue and E6000 once again. And I do that for all of these pieces until they're all glued together. So I speed it up for your convenience. If you're new here, my name is Fabi, welcome. And I'm a mother of 5 and I DIY whenever I get a chance. It's just good for my mental health and I enjoy doing it. It's just something for me to do and make my home beautiful on a budget. So if you're new here, say hi in the comments down below. I would love to meet you. I love interacting with you guys. And also don't forget to hit that bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So now I took some antiquing wax by Home Decor and a chippy brush. Now I added the least amount onto my brush and I dabbed it off. I dabbed off the majority of the antiquing wax off of that brush. And I just lightly brushed it in a diagonal stroke. And I know it looks like I'm going really fast, but this was literally as fast as I was going when I was putting the stroking the antiquing wax. I wanted it to resemble wood a little bit, and it's better to build on top of it instead of just putting a lot the first time. It's easier to add on little bits of antiquing wax than putting too much and then having to wipe it off. So once I have the face of the heart distressed very lightly, I went ahead and I put antiquing wax all around the outside frame of the heart. And once I got that all there, I took a baby wipe and I wiped off all the excess. And I really like that rich color that the antiquing wax gives. So hopefully you're liking this video, and if you are enjoying yourself, I would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. Thank you. So now I just wiped off a little bit of that excess that came over the edge when I painted the edge, and it's fine because I want it to look rustic. So I wanted this paint job to be very shabby, you know? So now I went over one more time, a little heavier with the antiquing wax, and you just want to keep all the lines in the same direction so that it does resemble the wood grain. So what I was thinking for this DIY, I was thinking of a romantic earthy piece inspired by nature, kind of like the trees would be inside of a locket, and I wanted the locket to look like a tree. You know how when people are courting, they usually write or engrave their initials on a tree? That's kind of what I was thinking. So I distressed the middle of the heart as well, and then I wanted to add some notches to the wood. So I just pushed the back of my paintbrush into the piece and kind of twisted it to make little knots about. Now Melissa from All Things Crafty, she does this trick as well, but she uses pencils, I believe. And I'll leave her link in the description box below because I love the way she distresses her projects. So definitely check her out as well. So now I'm going to use this lid from this Dollar Tree gift box, and I'm just going to use the lid of it. Don't worry, I'll use the bottom at some point. So now I'm going to take some nautical rope and I'm just going to wrap it around and secure it with some hot glue all around the shape of this heart lid. And I feel like it helped give that soft, rustic feel. So once that's all hot glued, I cut off the edge a little longer, tiny bit longer than I'm supposed to, so that I could tuck in that nautical rope. And I also added a little bit of hot glue to the center of that nautical rope so that it doesn't unravel on me. Next, I took one of these DIY ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and I just wanted to double check that it fit inside this lid before I antique waxed it. But that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. I'm just going to add some antiquing wax with the same chippy brush, and once it's fully covered, I'm going to wipe off the excess using a baby wipe. I like to use a baby wipe just because it helps glide the antiquing wax, and the conditioning and the moisture in the baby wipe gives it a nice sheen and I guess a polish, if that makes any sense. Anyways, once that was fully covered, I just hot glued it inside this little heart lid like that. And I really like how it turned out. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and embellish. I took a whole bunch of stickers from the Dollar Tree. I've had these in my stash for a while, so I'm glad I got to use them today. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to paint them in my secret word, which is wicker white. This is the acrylic paint by Folk Art, and it's amazing. The coverage is great. I strongly recommend that. And now I'm gonna paint these two birds. It took about 2 coats. And then I'm going to take some of that antiquing wax and I'm just gonna put it over their little wings in a bit, just to give them some more of that rustic, distressed look. But first I have to hot glue this heart. So I just added a little bit of hot glue there at the bottom tip of that heart, and I pushed it down into this heart. Now be careful because your project might stick to your work surface. I didn't notice this at this point, but it's fine, it comes off. All right, so now I'm gonna take some eucalyptus from the Dollar Tree and I'm just gonna embellish it. I'm just gonna add it on to this piece once I figure out where I'm gonna put it. This took a really long time, so I'm gonna cut out the rest of it. But I also added a little bit of the greenery and the flowers from this wildflower floral pick from the Dollar Tree. And now this is the fun part. You can totally customize this to your taste, but I wanted it to look kind of airy and ethereal and kind of like random, like nature. So I have a lot of fun with my embellishments. This is the fun part for me. Actually, the whole thing is fun, but I really enjoy this part. So I secured everything down with some hot glue, and now it's time to add the little birdies. Once they're fully dry, I go ahead and I distress using the same little chippy brush, and I add a little tiny bit to the wing as well as the tail. And I'm going to go ahead and hot glue those right on top of that center heart. It does have some of that cushion square sticky tape in the back, but I do add hot glue because I don't trust that that's gonna hold long term. So I mean, use your own judgment in this part. So I just tried to center these little lovebirds in that kissing position, and I think they're so cute. So then I could still see that little hole from the ornament where you're supposed to hang it. So I just covered that with a little bit of the greenery from the wildflowers. And this is how it's turning out so far. Now I'm gonna add my big obnoxious bow right to the top there. And for the first step to attach this, I just used some good old twine secured with tons of hot glue. And I just ran it through that loop. But you could totally hang this however you like. I just triple knotted it and secured it with some hot glue because I do not trust twine. I feel like it will come off at some point, so I always recommend hot gluing at least a little tiny dot of hot glue on your twine. So now I'm just going to hot glue these ribbon tails in position after they were dovetailed. And to do this, I just made kind of like a S formation in the wired ribbon, and I just tacked them down so that it doesn't hide any of the details in this piece. And I did leave those lace dangling freely because I felt like the hot glue would just make it look messy. So I just trimmed them down so they didn't interfere with the piece. And you could totally add whichever ribbons you like for your piece. You don't have to do exactly what I did. I just wanted it to give those nest vibes, so which is why I chose what I chose today for my ribbon. So now I'm adding a hanger, and I'm just gonna make one out of twine. So I basically just looped some twine inside of that hanger that we made, the first little hanger that we made, and I just looped it through until it made kind of like a coil. And it's nothing fancy, but it totally works and it feels nice and sturdy. So I wrapped that around a couple times, and then I just made a double loop, kind of just like wrapped it up on itself, and then secured the entire thing with hot glue. And I mean, it's not the prettiest thing, but it totally does the job. So just feel free to hang your piece however you'd like to hang it. Now I just added a whole bunch of hot glue and I glued it like so. Now be careful because hot glue is hot. And that's it. That's as simple as it was to hang it. I love it in my home. I'm probably going to keep it in my bedroom all year round, really. It goes very well with my home decor. And my bedroom is mostly shabby chic, but it does have some of that farmhouse vibe that I love as well. Alright guys, that's it for my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel grow. Oh right, I added a little bit more raffia to the bottom of that heart so that it resembles a nest. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for being here. If you're a new subscriber, welcome you, and please say hi. And if you're an existing subscriber, I love you guys so much. Be sure to check out the playlist, don't forget, to be entered into the giftaway. And guys, take care, God bless, and I catch you on my next video. Bye! If you enjoyed this video, here are some other videos you might enjoy.